Let's go over now before we put open the phone lines to all of you. 03444991000 if you heard what we're talking about. Well, it's now time to talk about the Royals. It's been a hell of a week on the Royal front, hasn't it? So who better to discuss what's been going on than the host of Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered, Kinsey Schofield. Hi, Kins.
Hi, Kev. Yeah, pretty busy week. Pope, and I never thought I'd see the King praying with Pope Leo. Those were beautiful visuals coming out of the Vatican today. So a lot of activity. A
very dramatic sort of Catholic outfit that Queen Camilla had on.
I will be kind, and I will not say anything.
I actually thought she looked very striking, but unusual.
She looks great. I did message somebody today that her body is banging right now. I mean, I probably shouldn't say that in the context of her meeting with the Pope, but she looks like she's in great shape.
Well, you always want to get your body into banging shape before you meet His Holiness, don't you?
Yeah, I do find that to be the priority.
Yeah, so they were in Rome today and they communed with the Pope, and it looked like a very good trip. So good luck with that. Well, let's talk about the week gone by. Now, I know you take a sort of more kind approach to Andrew and his titles and the King's attitude to this than possibly I do. I spoke to Andrew Lowney, the author of Entitled, The Rise and Fall of the House of York, that blockbuster book, which I believe it came out, what was it now, a couple of months ago, didn't it? I think that was the beginning of the end for both Andrew and Fergie. The revelations in there, their venal activity, the chasing of money, the abuse of their royal position was shocking, shocking, shocking. Now, because of that, you know, this is what led to last Friday's announcement from Prince Andrew that because of his sense of duty and his loyalty to his family, he would be...
I think you're giving... I love Andrew Lowney, but you're giving him way too much credit.
No,
I think it is... I think it's I mean, you cannot lie when there's digital evidence. There is a digital footprint to suggest he lied to us about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, and I think that
it's more than that. It's a fact. We've got an email that way after he told Emily Maitlis they would never talk to Epstein again. We got an email sent after that Notorious Newsnight interview saying, oh, hi Jeff, you know, looks like they're on to us, but we're in this together. I'm sure we can ride it out.
Supreme friend.
Let's play again soon. What I wanted to talk to you about, well, watch this. This is me and Andrew Lowney, I guess, taking the lead, because I don't think that what has happened to Andrew is enough. I don't think that the King, you know, getting him to announce I won't use my titles anymore is enough, because he is actually officially still the Duke of York. He's still the Earl of Inverness, and he's still Baron Kildare in Northern Ireland. He still has these titles. It's just that he has agreed not to use them. In order to get rid of those titles, we have to have an Act of Parliament. It has to go through our Parliament and be voted on. I think that should happen, but this is me discussing this with Andrew Lowney the other day. This is a case where the people should be telling the King, look, I'm sorry, it's not the Middle Ages anymore. We're in charge here, and we do want this issue to go through Parliament, and we do want the Prince Andrew to be officially stripped of his 3 titles, the Duke of York, Earl of Inverness, and the Barony Kildare in Northern Ireland. We do want this officially done. We don't want it just sort of kind of swept under the carpet and say, well, he won't use these titles again. What do you think about that, Andrew?
Yeah, I agree with you entirely. I mean, I think, you know, it's all window dressing, and I agree. Public opinion is way ahead of the palace. I mean, they never seem to play catch up properly. It's too little, too late. You know, I think the hope is that this will satisfy the peasants and they can go back to the system as it normally is. And I think there's been a huge shift in tone and public opinion just in the last couple of days as more of these lies emerge, and driven, I think, partly by social media, but I think also a much more emboldened press. And it's exciting to see the power of a book like Virginia Giuffre's changing things. I mean, this has really brought home really how sordid the whole thing was, and is very poignant because here she is writing from beyond the grave, but in some ways delivering the final death knell to Andrew.
Yeah, well, Kinsey, the thing is, so referring there to Virginia Giuffre's posthumous autobiography, Nobody's Girl, a very harrowing read in which she chronicles her story, what she says happened to her in terms of Andrew sexually abusing her on 3 different continents. He denies this, but frankly, he's a proven liar. I don't think anybody believes that at all. But because of that, because of this shock book, because of Andrew Lowney's revelations, because of the fact we now know he lied about his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, and the fact that him and Fergie basically leached millions of pounds off this convicted billionaire paedophile. Because of that, public opinion in this country, more than 80% of British citizens, according to a poll, say, I'm sorry, Your Majesty, I'm sorry, King Charles, this is not enough. We actually do want that Act of Parliament that you told us you don't want to bother Parliament with. He said, Parliament's too busy, I don't really want to take up their time with this. Well, the people of this country, the vast majority, want that. They want Andrew properly punished. They want these titles taken away. Your feelings?
I mean, my feelings is that there's no proof that that won't come to fruition. I think Friday's statement was just keeping public anger from a boiling point, knowing that next steps would be that they could strip him formally of his titles through Parliament. I think we need to have more empathy and compassion when we look at the timeline. King Charles isn't going to completely exile his brother, right on the heels of the death of Prince Philip. Quickly after the death of Prince Philip, we lose Queen Elizabeth II. Of course, you're not going to shove your brother off into no man's land after the death of your mother. After the loss of Queen Elizabeth, we discover that Fergie has breast cancer. Of course, the king is not going to say, you know what? We want nothing to do with you in the midst of Fergie's breast cancer. As Fergie's cancer wraps up, we discover the fact that King Charles and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, are both suffering from cancer. This is not just an institution, it's a family. And I imagine that there have been there's a lot of fear that's gone on over the last few years, a lot of grief. And then on top of that, you're trying to show a united front with Harry and Meghan from the United States wreaking absolute havoc. So I have a lot of sympathy for the family because there has been a lot going on behind the scenes that has probably been the cause of King Charles's, his navigation. As he's navigated this, he's had a lot on his heart. It's not just about trying to distance yourself from your brother. It's illness, it's death, it's grief.
Yeah, I take that point. So you feel, I think you're right as well. I think there's a direction of travel here. And I do think that the king, and I've got a lot of sympathy for the king, poor guy's battling cancer himself. He's no doubt very worried about Catherine, the Princess of Wales, who's also battling cancer. So, respect and sympathy for the hard time His Majesty has been going through. But he is a guy who likes to kind of try to sweep trouble under the carpet. So was his mother, and they say that that's why they paid Virginia Giuffre out an enormous, ungodly amount of money so that she could enjoy her platinum jubilee. If we really want to point fingers, I love Queen Elizabeth. She was the greatest monarch that we will ever see in our lifetime. But if we want to point the blame at someone, we have to look at the way that Queen Elizabeth's team ultimately handled Andrew. A really good point. Absolutely right. I mean, the thing about the royal family, we're seeing it now. We saw it with Her Majesty the Queen. You're right, an amazing sovereign, a woman who reigned over this country for, about 8 decades or something. Extraordinary, and never put a foot wrong personally. But she like the King now, like King Charles, their first priority is to preserve the royal brand, to preserve the royal family. And that's why Harry's a problem as well, but that's why Andrew now is being so ruthlessly cut out, because with Andrew in a prominent position, still being seen in public, it's like a cancer. I mean, I use that phrase advisedly for the royal family. It's like a problem. So when the royal family feels that its brand, its image is in danger, it will act very ruthlessly. And I think that the King, although he's been reasonably ruthless, he's thinking, if I can just get the public to accept that Andrew doesn't use these titles anymore, that'll be okay, and then the royal name will not be dragged through the parliamentary mud with this Act of Parliament. Well, I'm afraid that the people are telling the King that's not good enough. And he is going to learn here, I think, that in the end, in this day and age, in 2023, this is a democracy. We respect the King, but we make the rules, we make the laws, we dictate the pace here, not him. And I think that's what's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to get to that point. Prince William does not want to start to build his forever home. He's getting ready to move on the Windsor estate, so close to such a detrimental individual, such, somebody that brings so much drama and negative attention. My source at Windsor said that there were protesters yesterday near Andrew's home. There were helicopters flying above trying to get shots.
Wow.
That's not the environment. Prince William has fought so hard for his children to have a normal, sane upbringing. He told, Eugene Levy, I'm not going to make the mistakes of my ancestors, my parents, my past. He is focused on his children having a normal, calm upbringing. And you can't do that with Prince Andrew, yards away. Catching Prince Andrew riding horses outside your window. I just don't think that Prince William will settle having such a distraction on the estate, especially as his responsibilities increase.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing, or two things, Kinsey. If the King, or if the people of this country and our politicians do not press forward with this proposed Act of Parliament to officially strip Andrew of his titles, if that doesn't happen, when William ascends to the throne, it will happen. And also, I think William will also direct his attentions to Harry and Meghan, who I think he also wants to take their titles away. William, I like William. I think he's a very bright guy. I think he's the cleverest member of the royal family. But he's also got that hard edge that his father doesn't have. And I actually think that is a good thing. He'll do what needs to be done. But you mentioned about the Royal Lodge. We learned this week that Prince Andrew, he lives in this massive, great mansion. Fergie lives there as well. I think it's got about 35 bedrooms or something. It's a huge, magnificent looking building in the middle of Windsor Great Park, just in the shadow almost of Windsor Castle. As you say, it's also near where the new home where William and Kate will live. But there's been this big move to kick him out, and he's dug his heels in. We learned this week that on this mansion, he hasn't paid rent for 22 years. It's massive, he hasn't paid rent. They say he's got a cast iron lease, but the pressure is building. The King, for all his authority, actually cannot sort of override the terms of the lease. But just as Andrew was reluctantly persuaded to give up his titles, do you think that the King and William will succeed in persuading Andrew to finally leave this mansion that the royal family don't want him in, that William and Kate don't want him in, that the British people don't want him in? Do you think his days in the Royal Lodge are numbered?
Yes. And I'm limited as to why. I can tell you why. My answer is
Go
yes.
on. Yeah.
I do. I'm confident that he won't be there much longer. But what I will say is that to King Charles's credit, he's been trying to push Andrew out of that home and into Frogmore Cottage for years now. He realized that the optics weren't great having Andrew, a non-working royal, rotting in that 30-bedroom mansion, watching the planes above him go by. And he wanted to move him into Frogmore Cottage to save costs, to kind of keep him out of the fray and to put him away. And Andrew has dug his heels in and refuses to leave because he believes he's entitled to that home as the son of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. So I do want to give the king credit for starting these conversations much earlier than we were probably privy to. And it's Prince Andrew's defiance and entitlement that has kept him in Royal Lodge. But I do think that there are reports today in the Express that Fergie's on the verge of a breakdown. I do feel like these two are getting beaten down and just, you know what? We want to be out of everybody's hair. And hopefully of course, I would never wish ill on anybody, but hopefully they realize that their actions are harming the royal family more than they're helping them. And they do try to just get out of the way.
There's a lot of feeling in this country, and you know, like I don't care who it is. I don't like to see people in distress and having breakdowns and stuff like this. You know, not even Andrew and Fergie, who sort of deserve it.
Is it David Starkey? Is that who I'm thinking of?
Yeah, I think
David Starkey has said that he does feel like this is a pile-on, and we're judging Andrew today for past actions on new standards. And I do agree with that argument, but that doesn't change the fact that he lied to us. But I don't love the pile-on.
Yeah, but then again, it's bound to happen. This couple, both of them, for years, decades, have venally cashed in on their royal status to make money out of it. You know, they've let this country down. They've let the royal family down. I don't like a pile-on. I don't like to see people in distress. But, you know, I'm afraid they deserve their fate. Do you think, Kinsey, that when William ascends to the throne, that I think he will. I think he'll go for Harry and Meghan as well, and I think he should. I mean, because
Archie and Lily.
Yeah,
No
why have they even
children.
got titles? I don't think have they even been to Britain. That's a joke. Do you think William will take all their titles away? I do.
I do, and I think it's going to be a clean sweep, so it doesn't look personal, and so Meghan can't cry racism. If he does it in a clean sweep, then it's just like, I'm just trying to clean things up. It's easier to manage, and there's no reason for us to have all of these titles out there in the world. When you are all a reflection of us, whether you're working members or not. So I'm going to nip that in the bud. Go do your thing, have your makeup line, collaborate with Kim Kardashian on panties, do whatever you want to do. But you no longer represent this monarchy. And I think well, I'll tell you right now, I will drink alcohol for the first time in years if he does that. I will have a glass. I will toast to that decision.
I'll buy you that drink, Kinsey. I promise you that. I have many faults, but I always stand my ground. By the way, I wanted to talk to you. You and I discussed the other day that old Meghan, whose as ever business seems to be more and more in the background, attended this weird vegan dinner full of very important American women.
Allegedly, allegedly.
Well, I say one of them was, of course, a British entrepreneur, Emma Grede. So she sort of hosted this thing. It's a vegan dinner. There was a special chef making this veggie feast. And two things I was thinking about it was, how come Meghan was the guest of honour? The last time we saw her, she had her
She wasn't. She wasn't the guest of honor, but the way that she positioned herself in the images, you thought she was. Like, that was one of the big jokes online, was like, Meghan is acting like this party is for her, the way she positions herself. No, it wasn't. She was just a guest.
Yeah, but so my thought was, you know, last time we saw her, she had her hand up a dead chicken's backside. I thought, well, that's not very good vegan credentials, is it? And then, of course, there's that famous scene in that awful, boring series with Love Meghan where the chef, Jose Andre, she's standing there watching, and he gets a big lobster out and sort of stabs it to death through the back of the head, and it's live. You know, so she doesn't exactly have fabulous vegan credentials, but there she is, this feast, this fabulous feast in this house in the Hollywood Hills, and this meal, this meteor's murder meal, is washed down by As Ever Plonk. You know, that Van Ordinaire Rosé and her exciting new range of Sauvignon Blanc. So I think that the wine compared with the food was probably a bit of a letdown. But anyway, there was this circle of self-congratulatory women telling each other how fabulous they were, how brilliant they were. You know, we can just go on to the next level. We are marvellous, aren't we, aren't we, aren't we? Meghan, of course, you know, lapping all this up. She loves to congratulate herself and her friends. Anyway, there's a brilliant restaurant critic here in Britain. I don't know if you're aware of him, and he writes for the Daily Telegraph, a good man called William Sitwell. This is what he wrote about this vegan dinner party. If you haven't read this, you're going to love this. He said, I think I may have witnessed the ghastliest, most grotesque, most vulgar, most shallow, most revolting, most tasteless, most vacuous, and most vainglorious dinner party in history. In short, the worst, because splashed all over Instagram and the like was endless posing before, during and after the party in a circle of self-congratulatory vain adoration. It was all about telling the world they were there and you were not. Well, I think that's brilliant. Meghan will hate that, but I, for one, am very glad that I wasn't there.
Yeah, no, I am too. The fact that Meghan Markle gets in a car basically for 4 hours round trip just so she looks like she has friends. I think that that's the takeaway here, that she will sit in a car for 4 hours round trip just so. And the worst part is that there are so many pictures of her like standing around this event by herself, drinking by herself, while all of the other women are in like packs of 2, 3, 4, and 5, and Meghan's alone with her booze in her hand. I feel like it has some pretty deep meaning. I mean, I feel like it's a reflection on it's the same woman that posts that you should be drinking wine for breakfast. Is there something we should be more concerned about, Meghan?
Yeah, which brings us, I guess, to our regular question, or my regular question to you. What's happening with As Ever, her weird online store that tries to flog mundane domestic products to gullible people for astronomical prices? What's the latest on As Ever? We never seem to hear about it anymore, do we?
No, and you know, I just did an interview with the Daily Mail, and they were asking, will she go into makeup? Will she be successful with makeup? I said if she only creates a small inventory so she can manufacture success, perhaps, but I don't think that there's a real interest in Meghan makeup. And I thought to myself, why does she not start small on As Ever with beeswax lip balm that matches with Love Meghan, that matches some of the products she has already? That she just, nothing she does has any sort of theme or strategy behind it. It's just all over the place. So all of a sudden you're going to start selling high-end makeup. Like, it just, none of it makes sense.
Yeah, she's like a whirling dervish, isn't she? Like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and never seems to have
just try to succeed at one thing first.
Show a bit of application. She's got no application, has she?
No.
By the way, my last question to you, we talked earlier about the probability, in my view, that when William ascends to the throne when he becomes king. And let's hope, by the way, that's not for a long time, because, you know, good luck to King Charles. But when he does, that I think he will take away Harry and Meghan's titles. How do you think that will go down with that famous Montecito social mountaineer, Meghan Markle, when she's no longer the Duchess of Sussex? It's so funny you call me Markle, it's just Sussex now, and all that. She's no longer the Duchess of Sussex, she's just plain old Meghan Markle. How do you think she'll like that?
I think she'll be hostile because she has all of this wardrobe. You know, she was being teased over the weekend while she was in D.C. for running around with a tote bag that had DS on it for Duchess of Sussex in big, bold font. She's constantly trying to remind people that she's the Duchess of Sussex, even though she told Oprah Winfrey that titles and that stuff didn't mean anything to her. It's her entire identity. And somebody made the comment to me this week that maybe DS is more than Duchess of Sussex. Maybe it's creepily Diana Spencer too. Ooh. And I said, oh God, I would not put it past that woman.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I agree. Seems that there are very few depths below which she's not prepared to plumb, as far as I can work out.
But to answer your point, that's where we'll see the mental breakdown. Okay, that's when we'll see.
No, we shouldn't laugh about that. We shouldn't laugh about that. But there would be. Well, you know, it was good. It's good to see Andrew and Fergie get their just desserts, and it would be quite good to see Harry and Meghan get their just desserts. And I'll tell you why. For the British nation, it's showing that accountability is important. That these people.
Well, it's why some of the people over there admire my president.
Yeah.
Because he's finally showing some backbone.
Yes, yeah.
Our government is finally showing some backbone and saying you follow the rules or you get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And I think that it's fair to say, King Charles, we want you to say you follow the rules, you don't humiliate the family, or you get the hell out of here and you no longer represent this family.
Absolutely right. Kinsey, fabulous to talk to you. Have a brilliant weekend, and we'll talk again on Monday. That is the amazing Kinsey Schofield, host of Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered. I think she's coming to Britain, I think, next week, actually, funnily enough. So I'll probably see her then. In fact, I know I will. I'm doing some filming with her. So Kinsey will be over here. Hopefully we'll get her in the studio here. You can see her live on the Political Asylum.